his wife won't let him get an Expos tattoo. You're listening to Game Points with Matthew Ross on TSN 690.
.607 on TSN 690. It's Game Points with Matthew Ross. 3-3 in overtime right now. Game 2, St. Louis and Dallas in the NHL playoffs. We'll continue to update you there. Going to talk NFL draft here in a sec with John McMullen of today's pigskin.com. Just a quick word for Cheeseburger Montreal or Cheeseburger Mobile. If you're looking for a fun eating experience outdoors, well, you're in luck on the West Island right now, in fact, open between 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. and even for delivery, 4 p.m. through 8 p.m. in Bellevue Park in Paincourt. It's Cheeseburger Mobile. It's old school style food. You can get up to a full pound burger. They call that the Serious. You can get a half pounder. An unbelievable amount of toppings. You can really make it your own experience. They deliver in Vaudreuil, Grand-Ile-Perrot, and St. Lazare, as well as St. Anne de Bellevue. But here's the thing. They have trucks, right? They'll come to you if you want it for a corporate engagement, a private birthday party, whatever it is. They have a poutine bar. Imagine a poutine bar with the amount of options to put on those fries and gravy and cheese. They have what they call the owner special, a poutine with chopped garlic and pickles. A smoked meat poutine bar is what you can get that as a part of. Just an unbelievable option. Check out Cheeseburger on Facebook.com/Cheeseburger Paincourt if you want to see some of the photos of that delicious food. They're now on the Just Eat network as well. And if you want to get in touch with them to get any more information, David is a really good guy, the owner, 514-512-1328, 514-512-1328. Or you can email cheeseburgermontreal@gmail.com, cheeseburgermontreal@gmail.com. Talking some NFL draft here with our next guest, J.F. McMullen is how you can follow him on Twitter. And you can also see his work on today's pigskin.com, among a bunch of different places, in fact, online. And it's our friend, John McMullen. Hey, John, how you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me, Matthew.
Thanks for coming on. Not much going on for you, huh? Nothing noteworthy or anything this weekend?
It's always a rough couple of days, but we're through it now. So we can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
A lot of great storylines from the NFL draft this weekend, and certainly I don't want to get into the whole Tunsil thing, dropping from 6th maybe to all the way to 13th, but some of the other storylines. Let's start with me being a self-indulgent kind of guy. My Broncos trading up and getting Paxton Lynch reportedly ahead of the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Browns. Your thoughts on where he went at 26?
Well, I think it was great value. I thought, if anything, before the draft, he would get pushed up the board as the third quarterback in the group, behind Jared Goff and Carson Wentz, who went 1-2. So I think when he started slipping a little bit, John Elway kind of saw it and seized his opportunity to get the long-term answer at the quarterback position. I think it was a heck of a move by the Broncos, and it's just another example of why they're a winning organization, because if you have an opportunity to do something like that and they're able to accomplish it, and you're right, Jerry Jones himself confirmed the Cowboys were trying to get up to do it. So there were a number of teams interested. They were able to do it. He comes from a spread offense, so there's going to be a learning curve. I don't think he's going to be ready to start this season in the NFL, but he's got tremendous physical skills, and his ceiling as a player is very, very high. So I think it was tremendous value for the Broncos at that point.
John McMullen joining us from today's pigskin.com on Game Points with Matthew Ross. John, give me another tremendous value pick in the first round, someone you thought would go a lot higher than he actually did. Value pick, or somebody who went higher than you have to start with Tunsil as far as just the skill set. But as I wrote today, you can see those red flags from the space station. So, there's
there's a lot of concerns. You go back about 8 weeks, though, and he was going to be the number one pick in the draft, and there was no question about it if Tennessee stayed in that position. So to get somebody of that talent at 13 is tremendous for the Dolphins. Now, we'll see how it works out and if he can stay out of trouble and get things going in the right direction. Interestingly, they're going to start him at guard, which makes no sense, but that's the Miami Dolphins for you. Miles Jack in the second round, I think it was comical if you think about some of the medical whispers going on about Miles Jack. And my favorite text I got from somebody was some teams think he only can play about 5 or 6 years before he might have some degenerative problems with his knee. And I just kind of chuckled because if you think about what the NFL is and the average length of his career, of any player's career, it's well under 5 years, number one. Number two, if you can get somebody of that talent level for 5 or 6 years in today's environment where you see all the safety-conscious nature and people retiring early, thinking about walking away from the game, it's almost becoming like a college system. If you get that first rookie contract out of a great player, that's all you can ask for. And to me, the Jacksonville Jaguars might have got the two best defensive players in this draft. They got one at 5 in Jalen Ramsey, and they got one at 36 in Miles Jack.
John's got an article up, by the way, todayspigskin.com, round-by-round draft winners and losers. And yes, indeed, John's high on what the Jaguars have done this year. Just wrapping up with John McMullen from todayspigskin.com, JF McMullen on Twitter if you want to follow him there as well. John, give me your take on the ramifications of Boehringer, the German wide receiver who was picked today, or this weekend, I should say, a guy that never played in U.S. college football. Does this really open the door, if he does any kind of decently in the NFL, to potentially picks coming from picks of guys that have never come over the pond yet?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great story, but I don't know how many guys are 6'4", 227 who can run a 4.4 40 and have a 39-inch vertical leap. It was about his physical skill set, and when he worked out at the Florida Atlantic Pro Day, every single drill, if he was invited to the combine, would have been top 5 among the receivers. So he's a physical freak, and the Vikings were on him very early in this process. I actually wrote about it, that they were considering taking him in the draft, and it shaped out that way. It's just the fact that he's very, very raw. Obviously, he dominated in the German Football League as he should have. But we'll see if he can catch up to the speed of the game, because that's always a problem for raw players. And they just saw, as I said, a big guy who can run and can catch the football, and the skill set is there. Now it's just, can he really, really elevate his game and turn into an NFL player? I think he's more likely to spend a year on the practice squad. I don't think he's going to hit the ground running and be a star player or anything of that nature.
Again, check out the article on todayspigskin.com, round-by-round draft winners and losers. The author is John McMullen. He's been our guest as well. John, thanks so much for taking the time.
Hey, thank you, Matt.